Hello again, everyone. First off, let me go ahead and start with the good news. I am positively ecstatic to say that our testing has succeeded. The last video that we did indeed beat the previous video by quite a bit. We're currently at 47 views when the last video only did 13 or so. Now, granted, before it was 30. So YouTube might decide to take some views away from the last video as well for one reason or another. But currently, we're ahead, and I suspect that even if YouTube does do that, we'll still be ahead. So that's wonderful. Unfortunately, there is also bad news. In the editing of the last video, you may have noticed that at some point I said that we lost 1 subscriber. Unfortunately, we lost 3. So currently, we're back down to 225 subscribers instead of 227 or the original 228. So that's unfortunate, but I'm confident if we manage to keep up the upward video trend and have the videos do better and better, that we will be able to reverse that decision in no time. No time being, of course, the time it takes to make these videos, which I'm still working on. Right now, it takes at least 2 or so weeks to make these videos, but I am planning on improving that over time. That said, right now, let's get right to it. And getting right to it means putting on my armor and finishing off this map. Let's see what we find. As I go off on this adventure, I should also say that the current goal for this video, in terms of recording length, is 20 hours. Since I did manage to do a very good job, even if I do only say so myself, in compressing the last 16-hour video into less than an hour. So I'm happy to say that I have full confidence that I'll be able to repeat that endeavor here. What the? A ruined portal. Very interesting. Oh dear, that's a pillager outpost, and that seems to be a cage. I ain't brave enough to mess with one of those. Hey. Now this is one of the things I was looking for. But it wasn't the only thing I'm looking for, so we're still gonna keep looking. And even once I find everything, I'm still gonna fill out the rest of the map. What the? No, this is definitely a different village. The last village wasn't even on the map. Ooh, a bundle. Could always use more. Alright, I believe I've fully looted this place, and managed to get some trading in too. Very nice. I didn't know sea lanterns could show up in places outside of temples. Drowned are easy to deal with until one of them spawns with a trident. Then they're impossible. Ah well, I needed to get back home to put all this loot away anyway. And now I have potatoes here. Alright, I reckon I've lightened my load well enough. Let's head back out there. I'm sorry, what in the ever-loving... That is a ruined portal, seemingly just spawned up into the air. Yeah, no, The only connection this has with the ground is that little corner piece by a tree. No? No, this is something, alright. What is that? Is that an upside down shipwreck? And those are glaciers. I didn't know shipwrecks could spawn upside down. Whole lot of paper in this one. And another map. Whoa, okay, this has some other load in it. Oh, right, before I forget, check it out. Ah, yeah, that's right, armor. I updated my skin a bit. Not much was changed, I just darkened the shirt from my idle pose to my resting pose, aka from white to gray. It's a bit easier on the eyes, and turns out having pure white on your model, especially on your arm, is a bit of a bad idea because if your arm, especially the one that you're mine with, has pure white on it, if you mine something with an empty hand, that white tends to flash on the screen, and it can be a bit disorienting. It's actually a good thing that I ran into this ice spikes biome. I think that's what it's called anyway, because the second thing I need is actually all the way up there. Alright, a 64 stack of snow, I reckon that should be enough. There's one of my other boats from before. I think I'll leave it there as a marker of the danger that's over here. Ah, cripes. I know that shape anywhere. That's an ocean monument, aka Jump Scare City. That's right in the way. I wouldn't mind it so much, but I really hate the jump scare of Elder Guardians. Screw the shipwreck. It ain't worth a heart attack. Knockback 1. Glistering. Glistering is such an odd word. Not glistening, glistering. Ah, dang it. There goes that sword. Get back here. Huh. Got it pretty quickly. Oh, dear. Poisonous potatoes. I mean, I'll grab them just because, to be honest. Lots of paper. Another buried treasure map. One that's fairly close, actually. And a book. Oh gosh. This chest is even more fully loaded. Jeez. You know what this little ocean adventure reminds me of? Those very old island videos where you would spawn on a small island filled with dirt in a very near endless ocean, and you will have to figure things out. That is another shipwreck, and this one actually breaks the surface of the water, which seems to be fairly rare when it comes to shipwrecks. Iron Nautilus armor, feathers, paper, and another map. Alright, I managed to get it all. Man, bundles are a miracle, but they aren't a catch-all solution in the slightest, unlike shulkers, but those are a long while away. Now, I am very well aware that I could just respawn my way over there and save myself a bunch of time and hassle, but I ain't about that. The only reason I turned to keep inventory on is just to save myself the panic of losing all my stuff. It ain't meant to quote unquote cheat like that. Though I don't disrespect you if you do decide to take that kind of shortcut. You know, I found one of my left behind boats, but I don't think I found the other one. Because I know for sure that I left two out there. Ah well, maybe I'll run into it later, but I likely won't. I shouldn't have much reason to go back in that particular part of ocean until I'm ready to take on the ocean monument, which might as well be years away. Slight exaggeration, yes, but not by much. Ah, gosh, finally. Back home. Or back inside of home, anyway. Actual home is over there. Honestly, might as well leave this here, especially since it's actually rather more accessible than I thought. Pros to having your base close to an ocean, I suppose. Cons, of course, are the drowned. Alright, I got things as neat as I could really get it, and I made a new bundle because these are really useful. And also, I wanted four since having three was driving me a little nuts. So, I also decided to plant this bamboo. I also rearranged the chest because I realized that this corner was left awkward. I'll have to figure out what to put in this space later, but for now, this is actually proper. Lapis, iron, a copper nautilus armor, and a diamond. Knew there'd be at least one more. 9 pieces of paper, a feather, a buried treasure map, and a clock. That's a real treasure. That was definitely. Yep, guardians are going to work over there. Thankfully, though, that ocean monument isn't on the map, so I don't have to risk aggroing them. Let's just forget we heard it and saw it. But man, the range on those things are way greater than I thought. Another village. Alright, we have 10 minutes left. Let's go ahead and loot this village, and then we'll call that the end of the session. How weird. Farmland, like, right out in the open. Like, you know that there should be properly bordered farmland, because here it is right here, but no, not for that bit, apparently. And nice, y'all got an iron golem. And the banners in the middle with a bell. There we go. Another bundle, don't mind if I do. A random bit of cobblestone. 2 bits of cobblestone. Wait a second. Is this... Yeah, it's a dungeon. Something to mess with later, perhaps. But I'm not messing with it now. Stone bricks. Alright, I reckon that'll do for this recording session. In the next recording session, we'll go ahead and finish off this map. Hopefully. At the very least, we're gonna finish off all the edges, so that'll be done. At the very least. Otherwise, Do take care and see you in just a few moments. Sure hope I'm not forgetting anything vital. Otherwise, let's go ahead and get on with things. I do think I have enough iron for my primary goals to all be successful once I do get back home. But let's finish up this map. Oh hey, melons. Wasn't exactly a goal for this video, but I'll take them. Could always use more renewable resources back at home. Alright, I got a stack of wood and 4 saplings. I think jungle trees only need 1 sapling to spawn, considering how many 1 salt trees there are, but it's good to have extras. That is a pale forest. A small one, thankfully, but I know what these mean. I know what can be here. I'm just gonna try to stay at the edge. I only need 1 sapling. Alright, and that's the edges of the map completely cleared. And if I'm right, if I wanted to head home, I will just have to continue in that direction for some time. Alright, managed to make it home. And here's what I added to the farm. First, I put down the extra pale oak sapling that I managed to find. That should be growing up sooner or later. And I'm not exactly sure if this is an efficient cocoa pod farm, but I put down 4 jungle logs and put 1 on each of the 4 sides. We'll see how that turns out, but it does look like it's bearing fruit, considering some of these are already on stage 2. Otherwise, well, I still gotta put everything away and smelt what I got, so let's go ahead and do that now. I'm not sure how long it'll take me to finish up the rest of this map, but I should be able to get it done in this recording session. And this one also has gold blocks in the lava, but I can't do anything to collect them. Frankly, I don't even want to risk picking up that one in case it falls down in a weird way. More glistering melon slices. Six poisonous potatoes. Another pale garden. I hope I'm reading the map wrong, but it seems like this one might be quite a bit bigger too. I might not be able to avoid it. A cherry grove biome. Man, I wonder how biome generation works, because yes, there's this big cherry biome, but then look over there. It actually goes quite a bit further. That's plains, I'm pretty sure, and that's some kind of mixed birch and oak forest. And right in a thin diagonal line, more or less, between the two, a cherry biome. I'm pretty sure it's not even a chunk wide in some places, but to be fair, I don't really know the dimensions of a chunk other than it goes from bedrock to build height. I do actually think cherry wood is rather pretty, but I'm not sure of its suitability as a building material. Certainly good for aesthetics, but I'm not sure if I would use it as a main structural component. Yep, there's the pale garden. Luckily, I looked it up. I think we should be safe as long as it's day. But gosh dang, this is eerie. Even the sky goes gray. And we've done it. That's this whole map clear. Frankly, there might be 1 or 2 pixels here and there that might technically be undiscovered map, but it will be way too much trouble to go over the whole thing again to find that out, and I'm pretty sure I was as careful as I could be, so we're gonna call that mission success. After I'm done with the experiments on this video, I'm still gonna keep this channel Minecraft focused from here on, at least for the rest of the year, as I said earlier, or until extenuating circumstances decide to intervene. But I might mess with mods and other exploration packs in the middle of these tower sessions. Let me know if you might be interested in that. Alright, home sweet home in progress. Alright, I've mostly got everything sorted away, and I'm more or less ready to go mining, after I make more pickaxes, of course. But I do have one nitpick. This pick. A golden pickaxe with silk touch. Normally I would just smelt it for a single gold nugget, but that ain't a bad enchantment. I'm considering whether this could be combined with, say, mending, or if I could put it on a more proper pickaxe later on down the road, so I can harvest the glass without losing any, because I definitely need silk touch for that. You know, speaking of the coffee break I took earlier, it reminds me that I used to do those in my earlier videos. I honestly thought it was a cute little gimmick, so to speak, but ultimately I did have to cut them out because I realized that while probably not everyone did, the vast majority of people probably took that time to either pause and skip ahead or just clicked off the video entirely. It is a shame though, I did like the cute little pseudo animations I did. I mean, sure, it wasn't anything more complicated than having a little character walk across the screen, but I still think that was cute. It wouldn't be inaccurate to say that life rewards commitment, but how commitment looks like varies from person to person. The easiest way to try to interpret it will be that life rewards consistency. Pick a thing and stick to it. Sometimes it works out, but I wouldn't say that it's consistent enough to be a surefire thing. Oh hey, more lapis. Love that blue rock. Our bumblebee is on the ceiling. Or on the roof, I should say. Alright, we should be all set to end this recording session. Thank you very much to those of you who've gotten this far, and rest assured, there's plenty left to go. And we're gonna go ahead and unveil that special surprise that I've been building up to this entire time for most of this video and some of the last one in just a few more moments. Alright, we're live. Now let's go ahead and get right to it. First, I need a pair of shears. Good. And 4 pumpkins. There we go. 4 blocks of snow. And 8 iron blocks. But that's not all. We'll also need something from the other base. And last but not least, 4 name tags. And we just put you on top. There you go. Will you knock over a torch if I bump you into it? Thankfully, the answer is no. It'll be wonderful having some company, but that's only one of 4. Let's go ahead and get these pre-carved first. Now, another one made of snow. Nice. And that's 2. Still wild to me that the black part is their pupil, but I guess it does make the most sense. Alright, now for the hardest part. The names. I think I want something with a B. Let's name one Bert. Now obviously, a Bert is an iron golem. There you go. Kurt. You know what? Vaughn. That will be your name. Dawn. Oops. Yeah, I ain't the most creative sort, but I think I'm happy enough with these names. I did consider stringing the creation of the golems more throughout this recording session, and honestly, maybe I should have, because it would have given me more time to come up with more proper names, quote unquote. But I decided that it would be for the best to get it over with. Too much thought only paralyzes the process. The only mobs that I'm concerned with hurting my snow golems, as long as they're inside the building anyway, are Endermen. But I'm not sure if they automatically attack Endermen or not. Another thing that I don't like about life is when you decide to start things. Don't get me wrong, it's never too late to start something. As long as you're alive, you can start as many things as you like, even if you never finish them. But much like most things, hobbies take time, creativity takes effort, and most things take money. The longer you wait, the more of everything those things will cost you, either literally or relatively. What you could have done when you were 18, as an example, is much different from the effort you would have to spend when you're 36. And then there's the whole time versus effort argument, but overall, most people have that regret that even if they do something and they're good at it, or even if they're not good at it, if as long as they enjoy it, they have that one regret. Perhaps a true regret, or perhaps only being wistful, so to speak. If only I had done it sooner. Where was this all my life? I wish that I had the time back that I had back then so that I could spend more time on it. I don't know what I'm talking about. This should be very clear to most of you by now. But I sure can't complain. Not that it'll do me any good, but it's important that I have that. I do think it's a bit of a shame that the snow trails left by the snow golems don't last forever, presumably because this isn't a cold biome, but it is nice to have a constantly shifting pattern every time I look. Something I have no control over. You know, I just remembered I have a couple of diamonds. I'm not gonna have any to make any tools or armor out of for some time. But with this obsidian I found, and we have an enchanting table. We'll stick it... Honestly, we can't put it to use anytime soon. We need bookshelves and quite a few books to do that. But as a presentation piece, it'll do just fine against the wall. As much as I don't like it, I think I'm gonna have to leave Enderman alone for now. I don't want to aggro them and lead them to potentially harming my golems. The iron golem can take him for sure, but not so much the snow golem. And you can't even heal snow golems either. You can heal iron golems by right-clicking them with iron ingots, but snow golems, you need to spend a potion on them. And it has to be a splash potion specifically. It's not an impossible ask, especially if you have gold to spare, but... it shouldn't have to be done, is what I'm saying. Honestly, it's not as bad as I feared it would be. I mean, sure, it's still horrendous, and it'll still take a long while to clear, but that while is getting shorter all the time. Wow, that Enderman is really stuck. Alright, fine. Way to go, Bert. And my golems are okay? Bon and Don? Good. Were you even hurt? Seems like they're okay. What in the gosh dang? How on earth did that happen? I know it wasn't an Enderman. Endermen can't grab blocks like this. They can only grab natural blocks, and a plank of wood definitely ain't natural. Is this what I heard when the lightning struck? Well, let's patch it up. Why am I going back inside? I have birch planks. I'm not sure what the range on these things are, so I'm just gonna count out far away from the building and place them there. Alright, let's see. Still all set on food. I have more pickaxes. And I put down some lightning rods just on case. But there is something I actually want to do. Oh, little guy. I'm not entirely sure how they work or if I even can use them properly, but they sure are neat. Let's see. For one copper golem, let's be silly with it. You will be Dilly, and you will be Dally. Your motions certainly suit your names already. Alright, that done. I think this has been a very productive day. I do feel like we could have dug a bit more, but overall, I'm happy with the progress we've made, and we finally have some friends. That said, next time what I'm going to do is that I'm going to keep digging, at the very least, hopefully, until we find 2 more pieces of iron, because I really want to get that here and not from exploration. After that, I'm thinking the plan might be to grab one of the other maps that I have at home. One that has this base on the map and one that has the old base on the map, and start making progress on one of those maps, but we'll see. In the meantime, see you in just a few moments. Now that's ASMR. But, sorry for the delay. Let's get on with things. Hello, good morning, or afternoon, or evening, or night, or what have you. Let's get back to things, shall we? Now, first things first, well, I prepared these pickaxes, so I assume I was going to use them. But afterwards, we're gonna go ahead and grab one of the other maps from home and start filling one of those out. I'm thinking the map that I made while I was in the starter base will be filled out first, and then we'll focus on the map on this area. Oh, I realize this might be the last chance I get to say this, since obviously after this session I'm not gonna be recording anymore. It's just gonna be getting to work on editing this and any other experiments that I decide to do in the meantime. But I checked on the last video to see how that was doing, and to see if it was still doing better and if the numbers weren't corrected, quote unquote, in a harsh manner like the last video was, the one before that one, I should say. And I am pleasantly surprised that it is somehow doing even better than before. Like, even better than some of my more successful videos from last year, which at that point could be random chance. Like, it had over 100 views in less than 5 days. Now, could it be a fluke? Yes, unfortunately. It could be that that itself was random chance, that none of the patterns that I've been trying to do, none of the experiments I've been trying to run have any inherent value, and this is once again just another fluke. However, what if it isn't? That's all I have to say. What if it isn't? And I suppose this video will be the proof of that, one way or another. Thank you all. Really, sincerely, from the bottom of my heart. Even if it is just a fluke, I needed this. I needed the motivation. I need quite a bit more than this besides, but I'm happy for what you've given me. Thank you. That said, do please subscribe. I lost 3 and I haven't managed to get them back yet. In case you're wondering why I'm bothering to patch these up on the wall instead of just filling up those holes, well, I think it will be nice that when I clear up these patches and put the glass walls in their place, that I get to see those holes for what they are, the progress that I made, and the resources that I dug up while hollowing out this structure. I think it'll give a nice effect, personally. I'm not sure I'll keep the torches inside them when it does come time for that. Maybe because I prefer block light sources compared to torches, but we'll see. We will see. Oh, and if y'all have any suggestions, I'd love to hear them out. How practical or doable they are will, of course, vary widely, but, well, call it engagement. But I do want to hear what you think of it. What you all think of it. That corner still trips me up a bit, but not for much longer. And hey, the Enderman decided to help me out a bit by placing this block right here and filling out this gap a little. You know what? I'll even leave it there. Let me dig it up later. Rude. It fell down the ravine. Unfortunately, so did my torch. Really? Down you go. Of course, I'll have to go down there too, now that my torch fell. The one without armor did kick the bucket, but not so much that one, and that one's the one I'm scared about. It must have been rather hurt from the fall after all. Alright, I reckon we've reached the edge of the map comfortably. Let's head forward. Fill out the borders first, and then work our way inward. And that block over there, the chest, yes. There it is. So it did spawn underwater. Alright, and that's another corner cleared. Looks like the next direction is over here. And that's 3 edges of the map done. Huh, looks like I will be able to finish off this entire thing in this video after all. There it is. I should probably light up that pillar so it's a bit more obvious at a distance. But for now, let's just sleep in my own bed. How'd you get back there? Silly Bon. I managed to find enough diamonds to make a diamond block. Surely this was the best and most valuable use for these diamonds. Alright, I should be all set. The only thing that I could maybe add to my kit would be a pickaxe, but I think I'm fine without it at this point. What the heck? Sally, when did you get a flower put on your head? Well, it looks good on you. Enchanted golden apple. Wow, bud, you did not pick your choice of domicile very wisely, did you? 2 bells? So greedy for such a small village. Ah, here's a chest. I don't think there's any gold blocks on this one, unless they're under the bricks. Hey, another ruined portal. Something, human spirit. Let's pretend that's a good note. Yeah. In case I cut out my crash out, and I probably did, trident drowned suck, and they shouldn't be in the game. Tridents are the worst thing that ever happened to Minecraft. And I don't think a lot of objectively bad things have happened to Minecraft, but tridents are definitely one of them. If only because they can be on drowned, and drowned can be anywhere. Bert, Bon, Don, Kurt, Dilly, and Dally. Alright, gave all my golems a hug, and that's gonna be the end of the video. Thank you very much for watching, and I do hope to see you again in the next one. Coming in like... question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. See you then.